What I did, I drew a scribble which represents my stress and overwhelmed state. And that's the topic of my drawing. So I created a scribble here. That was my release. And my goal right now is to dissolve it with the help of neurographic lines. So I'm sort of going through the scribble, through the lines I already created, and I'm dissolving the scribble. Eventually, when I get enough lines, I won't be able to see that scribble. And that's how I work with stress and the state of being overwhelmed. And as I'm drawing and adding those lines, I can feel that at the beginning I was holding my breath. But as I add lines, my breathing normalizes. I also check how my body feels. What sensation am I getting? And as I scan my body, kind of go through I start from the feet and go all the way up to the top of my head. I can feel some, I won't call it a pain, but some tension in the left side of my body. So that means the stress, basically, I can tell myself my stress somehow ended up in the left side of my body, in the back, in the left back. And at this point, I'm not doing anything. I'm just identifying what's happening with my body. I'm acknowledging what's happening with me in my head. I acknowledge the emotions I'm having. And I'm done adding the lines. And now, when I have this composition on the page, and pretty much I scribbled my stress, I dissolved it with the help of neurographic lines. The next step is I'm going to be rounding the corners. The step in neurographics is called conjoining, but a lot of times we call it rounding the corners or rounding the intersections. So if you're drawing with me, our goal right now is to round every corner. That helps. That's how you do it. You kind of draw a little half circle. I'll show you here. So this is the cross, and then you draw half circles where the lines have crossed. That helps our mind relax. And process our stress, since I'm drawing a stress today, and process that stress and that emotion in the most organic way. It helps our mind relax and let go. Once you finish rounding the corners, you will see, you can compare how you felt when you just started rounding and how you're going to feel afterwards when all the corners are smooth and round. And I promise you will feel completely different. As I'm rounding the corners, I focus on my breathing. Sometimes I can tell I'm holding my breath. I acknowledge it, I notice it, I do nothing with it, I just notice it. And once I notice it, I try to let go and breathe normally. And then I'll keep rounding corners. I continue my work. This is how you round corners. You can draw half circles and you kind of create here a little neuron, and then you just color it, fill it up with color. If you're drawing with me, remember to breathe. This step is probably the longest one in Neurographics. Rounding all the corners takes quite a while. But that's where this magic of healing happens. That's where your brain resets and processes the emotions. So stay with it. Make sure you round every corner. I'm using Sharpie, fine point, and you can see I have a lot of intricate lines here. So I'm going to switch, change my marker, and take something thinner to work on those smaller lines or thinner lines. And I will be doing pretty much the same thing. When I find the sharp corner, I draw a half circle and I just round that corner. You can probably notice how I'm jumping from, I work in one spot of my drawing and then like in the middle, and then all of a sudden I'll go to a different spot versus continuing in the same place. Instead of finishing one particular area, I tend to go to different places. What it tells me that my mind is not settled. My mind is overwhelmed with thoughts, and I'm kind of all over the place. And my hand shows me that, my drawing shows me that my internal state, the state of my mind, is a little scattered. I'm trying to do way too many things and go from one place to another, and I technically leave things unfinished. And that tells me that I need more grounding. So that's big for me, that I notice that I'm trying to do way too many things at the same time instead of focusing on one. So what I'm gonna do is, since I noticed that, I'll try and work in one area. That way my mind will feel like I have started something, finished something, and it will give me more grounding and satisfaction from completing a task. As I'm doing this, I also pay attention to what's going on in my body. I know you can't see me right now, but my legs under the desk, I can tell my left leg is sort of stepped back, and the right leg is sort of forward. I'm almost running. Once I notice that, I'm going to put them together on the ground next to each other. That gives me more support and grounding as well. And the reason I'm doing this, because a lot of times we don't realize, but our body and mind, they always tell us something. And the first thing to react would be our body. But we typically live in the state of mind where we only pay attention to our mind, our brain, our thoughts, and we sort of neglect our bodies. But body has a lot of information too. So again, what I described about my legs, that my right leg was forward and left leg was kind of behind it, that kind of reminded me as if I was running. So again, that just confirms that state of mind I'm having. Run, 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 do things fast. Go get this done. And that creates stress because I'm trying to do things way fast and way too many things at the same time. And I can't change anything except notice it right now and keep drawing and keep rounding corners. And as if I'm doing it, my mind resets, my nervous system resets. Well, ask yourself, what are you feeling in your body? And keep rounding. There are several ways to round the corners. As I said, you can draw half circles just like this, and it will create a little nail on here. Or you can literally take them and draw a circle inside and then fill up those empty spots with some Sharpie or with a color, and you might like it this way better. So both ways are acceptable. I tend to go sometimes do one thing, sometimes another. It doesn't really matter. As long as you stay in the process. In the process of rounding. At the beginning of the drawing, I didn't like the scribble. It was messy. It was, I'm not even afraid to say it was sort of ugly. It was a bunch of tangled lines, unclear. And now I'm getting to the that stage where I am starting to like my drawing. I like what I see happening on this page. And it's not done yet. So what we are doing here right now is basically going through steps of Neurographics method, which combines drawing, psychology, neuroscience, coaching, and social studies. It has been very effective with addressing issues like anxiety, stress, processing anger, even grief. This method also can be used for coaching. Personally, this is my favorite one because I like how it helps to organize your mind, especially if you have a lot of projects, a lot of tasks, and you feel overwhelmed and you need to prioritize. Neurographics can be used for that. And when you draw with the goal again in mind, with the topic, to organize or set priorities or achieve goals, it is amazing how fast you achieve the goals, because neurographics can also remove limited beliefs and blocks within our head. Basically, neurographics works with you're working with your subconscious mind and with your mind, and you kind of combine those together. I'm sure you heard about the fact that if you think about something or you have a task or idea or a question, your subconscious mind already has an answer. All you have to do is kind of reach for it, for that information, I mean. And neurographics helps us relax our brain, our overactive mind, and sort of bypass that and reach for that answer, which already does exist in our subconsciousness. Well, I think I'm done with rounding corners. I might have missed something, but so I'm gonna scan my drawing again. And again, if you're drawing with me, I suggest you do the same, especially if this is your first drawing. Definitely, definitely go scan your drawing, go over it, and look for any unfinished, sharp intersections, and make sure to round them. Okay, so now we're ready to do our next step, and that's the most fun part. That's where we are going to be doing archetyping or simply adding color. So then, let me reach for my pencils. I'm going to probably use those today. And a lot of times I don't choose color consciously. I kind of close my eyes, and whatever my hand pulls out of the stack of the pencils, that's what I'm going to use. And I can start anywhere I want. There's no rule for that. As I'm coloring, I'm pretty much going through my those 2 points of attention. Like I'm paying attention to what's happening in my body and checking how my breathing is. And if I'm holding a breath, I just normalize it and start and try to breathe normally. And here's pretty much you use your imagination. You can either either choose where your color goes analytically, sort of like, okay, that's where I want to do it, where the color goes. And just think like I'm going to take it to the right or left or this corner or that corner. In my case, I sort of let my hand decide where the color goes. I literally don't even think about it. I intuitively let my hand take it. I think that's it. So I had enough of this color and I feel like I need a different one. And that's not, there's no rule. You literally just trust yourself. Oh, I picked pink. And it's a good time to ask yourself, why pink? Since again, I picked the colors with the closed eyes, I tend to think that there is a reason for that because I intuitively picked pink color. So I'm asking myself, what does this pink color represents to me in my drawing? And since I'm drawing stress, again, I'm working on that topic, stress and overwhelm, and I ask myself what that represents. What does pink color represent to me? In this topic, I immediately had an answer in my head. It's about love, and pink is love, which I have to, it's about self-love. That's what I'm trying to say. So maybe instead of being very hard on myself, I should do things slowly and enjoy doing them. That's pretty much that's what it is for me. So and that's a little bit of a breakthrough for me. So I'm gonna even write it down for myself. Do everything you plan to do, but do it with more care and self-love towards yourself. And I know it might sound very cliche, and we all know that we need to do that. But guess what? Because we're drawing and reminding ourselves about it, our brain relaxes and processes it differently, and the stress level goes down. Because we don't just say it, we actually say it and visualize it. And our brain and the way we humans are, when we see something and connect the meaning to what we see, we process it better, we remember it better, we memorize it better versus just verbalizing it. So every time now I will be doing something in a rush or in a hurry today, every task, that image or this drawing will be in front of me and I will be like, I have, keep doing it, but do it with love. Don't, for example, pick up a heavy object, ask for help. And that's exercising self-love and self-care. So I will be more mindful. Okay. I have enough pink here, so I'm gonna put down my pencil and see what's next for me. Green. So I'm asking myself what green represents for me in this in this drawing today, and I don't have an answer, which is totally okay. So if you're asking yourself, what is this color today in my drawing, what it stands for, and you don't have an answer, that's perfectly fine. You might get the answer later, or you might not even get it at all. And that's okay too. Because the drawing will be working no matter what. It's doing the job. Word spring popped up in my head. And the next thought is maybe instead of working so much, I should enjoy more of this beautiful weather. So that's what green represents. In this drawing, like if you will be working on a different drawing, and let's say the colors might change or the meanings of the colors might change. One of the rules in neurographics is that when you're drawing, when you're adding color, you are going over the lines. We don't color each segment individually, the way I'm showing right now. We're literally going through every line. I almost put down my green pencil. I thought I'm done with this color, but for some reason, I don't know, my hand told me, let's just color this segment as well. Okay. And now when the basic main colors are here, and I'm done with them, I can go and, let's say, add more shade or make some colors deeper, sort of like make them stand out more, or add intensity. It's up to you. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Then I'm gonna go to the next step, which is called field lines. And for that, I will need a thicker marker. It's I prefer a chisel tip. If you don't have it, that's fine too. You just use your thick marker, or this one, fine point. You just have to go several times. And now basically we're going to draw field lines, and they will be going from one end of the page to another. That's the rule. And the way you choose them, you do it intuitively. So I'm going to trust my hand and see where it takes me. So that's one line, and I want to do it one more time. If you're holding your breath, this is a perfect time to take a deep breath. And I'm going to draw probably another one. Okay, I think that's enough. And then I have to round all the corners where this field line crossed any other neurographic lines. What we do here, we round the corners or intersections. Field lines, there are a couple of names, other names for them. Let's call them field lines for today. They represent the lines of universe, or they represent the energy of universe, or some people prefer to call them the lines of God, where they pretty much represent something bigger than ourselves, something we can't control. Because all of us, it doesn't matter what backgrounds we come from, we do understand that not everything is in our control. We only can control so much. And these lines are basically the lines where you surrender. You say, I did everything I could. I drew a scribble. which in this case was a stress, represented stress. I dissolve that stress. And in life, I'm doing everything possible to address every task, every goal, every, I guess, obstacle. I'm doing everything to overcome that. I'm doing my best. But there are certain things which are not up to me, and I surrender. And I say that something bigger, I trust that something bigger like universe or God will take care of it for me. I hope this makes sense. Make sure to round every corner here, every intersection. And we got to our 7 steps. It's almost, I apologize, 6th step. We're close to the end. I'm going to do it with a chisel marker again. We have to find our focal point or a fixing figure. Representative of, and the way you do it, you look at your drawing and perhaps there is something that looks at you or it stands out for you, and you want to sort of amplify it and create a focal point of the drawing. So for me, that would be, I'm gonna go with like trust my hand and see where it takes me. For me, it would be probably this part, because see how it goes, like almost see a circle here, half circle. So I'm going to just draw a circle here. Okay, that's my focal point. If you are new to Neurographics and this is your first drawing, or you don't know all the steps, I suggest, or you don't know what focal point is, it's again, it represents the perfect solution for today's topic. I suggest that you draw a circle. Don't draw any other shapes. Perhaps we'll cover that later in some other videos, why you should draw a circle. I should say why circle would be the optimal focal point today. Other shapes are acceptable as well, but I would say you should be advanced user or advanced in Neurographics to know what that means. And today we're trying to create the most harmonious drawing, and circles always represent, a circle always represents harmony. Our brain and our body and our mind perceives it as safe, organic, the most harmonious solution. So I would say, I suggest stick with a circle. Now, if it's not perfect circle, it's okay. It could be oval, as long as it's not a square. Does it have sharp corners? As long as it's not triangle or square or star, you should be fine. And again, that's just a suggestion. After all, it's your drawing, so you're in charge, so you can decide to do something else. It's completely up to you. That's just a suggestion, and that's the proper way of doing it if we are following the Neurographics method. And the next step would be if you want to add any more colors or maybe highlight certain areas or add, mix in parts of your drawing brighter or mix colors. Oh, I noticed here. See, I forgot to round the corner here and I'm gonna do it. It's perfectly fine. If you noticed it later, please go back, grab a marker and make sure to round those corners if you notice them later. They're not, if they're sharp, make sure you round them. As a result of the drawing, that's the final step of the drawing, we always choose topic. And the topic one was stress and overwhelm. And right now, the result I came to after finishing this drawing is the word which came up in my mind is fun. And I'm thinking what fun represents for me right now. I was stressed and overwhelmed because I have, you can see my words here, too much, tasks, dishes, hire help, and so on. I was overwhelmed because I have too many things to do, too many things in my mind. At the end of the drawing, the stress transformed into fun. And what that means to me, that's just my meaning. Again, you might have a different understanding what fun is for you. But for me, that means I can do all of this, but have fun with it. Instead of being, let's do it fast, let's do it quick, let's do it all at once. Do it, but remember to have fun as I'm doing it. That's my perfect solution I found. And that's what neurographics is. You, as you draw, transform, you go from something, let's call it negative, because ultimately nothing is negative, really, it's our perception of things. But let's call, for the sake of understanding the topic, let's call it negative. From the stress, you go to this, and that's the answer. And that's how you transform. And the result is I'm in much better mood. I'm smiling right now. I'm breathing normally. And I'm gonna go and tackle all my tasks right now and remember to have fun. I hope you enjoyed this drawing with me, and I hope I'll do more of those. If you have questions, leave the comments below and I'll try and answer all of them. And that's it.